This Friday, January 13th at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg School Division will be holding their Divisional Honor Band at École Secondaire Sisler High School. The Winnipeg School Division is the largest school division in the province, and there are hundreds of students who take part in band in the 9 high schools that make up just the senior high part of the division. Here to tell us more about the concert and this excellent educational experience for students, I am joined by Mark Sawatsky, who is the band director at Elmwood High School, and Alexis Silver, who is the band director at Sisler. Hey, Alexis and Mark, good to see you here over Zoom again.
See you, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Alexis, I'm going to start the conversation out with you. Can you tell our listeners what high schools are all in the Winnipeg School Division?
Sure. I'll just tell you which ones are participating in this event. We have a couple other high schools or sometimes schools that bridge between middle school and high school, like with a grade 9. But the participating high schools in this event this year are College Churchill High School, Daniel McIntyre Collegiate Institute, Elmwood High School, Gordon Bell High School, Grant Park High School, École Secondaire Kelvin High School, École Secondaire Sisler High School, and St. John's High School.
Amazing, amazing. And Mark, can you talk about the grades of students that make up the honor band and how the band is selected?
Honor band is typically made up of a mix of students who happen to be musical leaders between grades 10 and 12, but really it's for any student who would benefit from this kind of enrichment that make up the honor band. The idea is really that they should be able to handle level 4-ish charts. And if we need to, we adapt parts to suit the students' needs.
Amazing. Alexis, the days leading up to the performance are pretty intensive. Can you talk about how the days work? It's not just straight up full rehearsals, right? How are the days structured for the kids?
Right. So the students get their music folders just before the break. So our guest conductor sends the repertoire, and our program lead orders the music, and the Winnipeg School Division librarian sorts the music out and creates folders. And then the courier sends them over to each individual school, but the students get them just before winter break. So you know how much practicing must go on during winter break.
Right.
But they do. I think they do. So it's fairly challenging repertoire. So I think they do quite a bit of listening and some focus practicing over the break. And then we meet just with the students, we meet on Thursday afternoon from about 12:30 to 5:30. Is that right, Mark?
Yes.
And then all day Friday. But yeah, you're right. It's not just full band. We do have some full band rehearsals, but there are also breakout sessions with sectionals led by some amazing local professional musicians, Mr. Chris Wolf being one of them.
Oh, thank you.
And then Friday, they meet in sort of more like family groupings. So the woodwinds meet together, brass meets together, percussion meets together, and then also full band rehearsals, of course. We have a dress rehearsal usually at the very end of the rehearsal day on Friday. And then they're going to get themselves here to Sisler High School, and we have our concert at 7 o'clock on Friday.
Fantastic. I'm going to ask the question of both of you. When students come back to your band programs, what changes do you notice in the students, and how did their changes affect the culture of your own personal bands? Alexis, maybe I'll start with you.
Sure. So this is a really rich, intense, like you say, educational, musical, structured event. So I noticed that my students who are already leaders in my program, they come back with even more skill and confidence and strategies, but mostly they just come back with some energy. This is a huge motivator for students who are already motivated, but when they come back, that sort of trickle down effect happens where these leaders are even more engaged with trying to pump up the program. So they become, I call them musical ambassadors, not just for the excellence and musical work that they see, like that intensive rehearsal. They come back wanting to do that more, but also they pump it up to the younger students in my program. And they say, hey, honor band was great, which helps students want to audition for things like the provincial honor bands or other leadership opportunities, or just be in this Winnipeg School Division honor band next year. So it's great. I couldn't do without this. This is something that really helps the kids who need an enrichment activity. This really supplies that for my program.
Right. And Mark, what about you?
Just adding to what Alexis has already said, there's that building of a community outside of the regular band hub. that has such an impact on what they bring back to my program. Knowing that others amongst them experience the same challenges and successes outside of their borders, it really becomes an eye opener for them. And also like the level of confidence in their playing, just the individuals, and how that sort of just spreads out to the rest of the band program. Those sharing of experiences, it's a super important part to what we already do as music educators in our own program.
Mm-hmm. I know that the past couple of years, band students have had it really rough because of the restrictions for band that the pandemic created. I've heard of stories who are far behind, stories of students who are far behind, but I've also heard of students who are actually quite resilient and who have bounced back. I'm going to ask the question again of both of you. Alexis, maybe I'll start with you. What do you hope your students will take away after they've taken part in the Divisional Honor Band this year?
Thank you for that question. Yeah, we were able to have a couple of different kinds of experiences over these past couple of years. We call it band dating, some experiences together, pun intended. So we had sort of a mini honor band experience where we got to have guests come into each individual high school. And last year we had the honor band with Dr. Wendy McCollum, but we didn't have a live performance. We just had a recorded concert, and we sent that link out to families and friends. So having this back after what we've kind of gone through as educators and students and people and society over this is just really exciting to be able to have the opportunity to do it again in person, but that it culminates in a live performance with an audience, everyone feeling the vibrations in the room after experiencing this great fun and community building, like Mark said. And the live performance aspect is, I think, the thing I'm looking forward to the most, and probably what the students will remember the most, that in the room feeling, making live music with other people. And I think the fact that it's difficult, but that we do it, that's the resiliency piece, I think, that is really important for young people right now, just walking through it, doing the thing. Then we have the celebration, check mark, what a great thing.
Yeah. And Mark, how about you? What do you hope that they'll take away?
Well, kind of like what Alexis was saying, or just building on top of that, like live music and the rehearsal experience was missing for so long. Like the true idea of those experiences, doing stuff over the screen, doing stuff remotely doesn't even compare. So, the absence of actually getting together and creating something beautiful in the same room is really, it's like, to be able to do that, it's invaluable. And to once again be able to share that with the people in the WSD community, whether it's students, parents, or staff, this is exciting. Again, to just be back to quote unquote normal. There's nothing more gratifying than really seeing smiles on faces, everyone involved, audience and performers, right there in that moment.
Oh, that's going to be great. One of the things about the honor band is that it's not only for the students, right? The band directors from the various high schools are there. And so there's a lot of professional development that is happening. Mark, can you talk about some of the things that you've taken away for yourself from the honor band experience in regards to your own band program?
Yeah, the insight on how I can grow as an educator to help my students and myself. And it's always those quick, what I call those quick fix-its. Whether it's like a warm-up drill or any other little tidbit that will help my groups move forward. Those are invaluable. And of course, connecting with all the other band teachers within the division as well is something that it's just a great opportunity to learn from others, whether you're a student or an educator.
Yeah, and bounce ideas back and forth with each other, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Alexis, can you talk about who the guest band director is and perhaps talk about some of the pieces the band's going to be performing on Friday?
Yeah, sure. So we're really lucky. We have Jackie Dawson, Dr. Jacqueline Dawson from the University of Manitoba this year. She's an incredible educator and a really beautiful conductor, but she's also just a great person. And
yes, she is.
All of us, like all the band teachers, we all know her and adore her and respect her and inspired by her. So we're really thrilled to be able to learn from her on our professional development morning. but then just like Mark said, just watch her with students. But I'm so excited for the students to be able to be under her baton, because some of these students will definitely want to go to post-secondary music education. So we had Dr. Wendy McCollum last year from Brandon. We have Dr. Jackie Dawson this year from University of Manitoba. So this is really nice for the students to see where they can go, possibly post-secondarily. Plus we just, Wendy and Jackie, like we're very lucky in this province to have those two incredible musicians. The program for this year is Fanfare for a Festive Day by Roger Kishi, Cichy. Sichi? I don't know. I'll ask Jackie. And then we have Autumn by Canadian composer Kate Nishimura, Diamond Tide by Vietnamese American composer Viet Cong, and then the sort of standard wonderful Spanish March 1925 composition called Amparita Roca by Jamie Textor.
Yeah, fun fact about Jackie. I've known Jackie for more than 25 years. We went through Army boot camp together, and we worked together for 4 summers in Ottawa. So I know Jackie very well. She's going to be fantastic, and she's going to be a great leader of the band. Yeah, it's great. I'm going to wrap the conversation up this way. Where is the concert, and how much is it to see it, see the performance? Alexis?
It is free. So $0 buys you the seat, but you'll only need the edge. And it's at École Sisler Secondaire High School. So we're at 1360 Redwood Avenue in the north end of the city at 7 p.m. on Friday evening. And the staff parking lot is up for grabs. So that's just off of Shaughnessy Street. So you can park anywhere around Sisler, but if you arrive early enough and there's space in the staff parking lot after hours, you're welcome. So it's pretty accessible. We have a beautiful theater at Sisler High School. So we're really excited to see you on Friday at 7 p.m.
That sounds great. Mark and Alexis, the Winnipeg School Division Honor Band concert on Friday, January the 13th at 7 o'clock at École Secondaire Sisler High School. Sounds like it is going to be just fantastic. For our Classic 107 listeners, if you want more details, you can find them by going to classic107.com. Mark and Alexis, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me today, and I'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.